We'll see if anybody comes in. Hello, everybody. See if anybody turns up. See if anybody knocking around. Hey, Moochie, how are you doing? Hello, how you all doing? Hello. Hey, how you doing? So, I was going to do a video, but I just couldn't be bothered. I couldn't be bothered to do a video and edit it because I'm starting to get disillusioned with what I'm doing. I'm actually thinking about just shutting the channel down. Just giving up, and just looking after my own interests, looking after my family, and just not giving a shit about anything to do with politics anymore. I am really seriously considering it. I am, because it seems that after the comments I got today on my last video, one particular comment really pissed me off. It really did. And I think it's indicative of people on the right, certain people on the right, and it just annoyed me. If you don't know, I made a video this morning entitled "Divided We Fall, United We Stand," and I'll get to that in a bit, Copmeister. And it started to make me think about, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I making these videos? Why am I doing them? When people, I tried to do, my channel hopefully was to unite people, to bring people together and fight the common enemy, which is the Marxists, the far left, the people winning the fucking war at the minute, the people out there that are wrecking our country, destroying everything. And I wanted to do my part, step up to the plate, and try and give people a place where they could talk, unite, talk out their issues, come together, and we could all get together and fight the common enemy. But it seems it's falling on deaf ears with some people. It really is. It's really starting to piss me off. The narrow-mindedness of some people. I had a comment today. This is one that really pissed me off, right? Saying that he wouldn't unite with certain individuals in the right because he's from West Ham and others are from Millwall, and he was talking about fucking football, that he wouldn't fight alongside people politically because they support a different fucking football team. That just really pissed me off. And it's what people have been saying online and other places. Football really is the bread and circuses of our age. And if you don't know what I mean by that, look at ancient Rome. Bread and circuses is when they used to go to the Colosseums, and they would, it was basically the Colosseum. They'd hand out bread at the Colosseum to keep the populace distracted away from uniting and coming together against the real people that were issuing the country, which would have been the Roman Senate and the people at the top, pretty much like we've got today. It's our political class. Football is basically a distraction. It's a distraction. It's a way of focusing that anger that people have in society. And you pit people against each other, you pit rival teams against each other. So they're too busy fighting amongst themselves to care about what's happening in their country. And this is what blows my piss. People will go to football matches and they will fight rival teams over a fucking game of football where fucking men run around a field and fucking kick a ball around a bloody field. But they won't do the same thing when it comes to their country. This is their children's future. Their children's future. And all they care about is football rivalry. It pisses me off. Fair enough. If you like football, great, fantastic. But not to the extent where it dominates your fucking life and it lets your country go down the toilet. This is what pisses me off. This is what really pissed me off today. It's like, Jesus Christ. You know what? The far left are laughing at us. They really are laughing at us. Because it's the right will never unite. They will never be united in anything. because they're too busy fighting amongst themselves over petty, stupid shit. I know this is going to be a hard pill for people to swallow, but it's true. The right is just fighting over petty shit. I got sick and tired of it. You know, I was ready to scrub the channel yesterday. I was like, fuck it, I'm deleting the channel. I've had enough. You know, I'll just look after my family, and when shit goes down, you know, I'll make sure my family's safe. You know, but why do I keep going to all this effort to make all these videos, edit it, spend hours editing videos, putting stuff together, doing research, and then I see comments where people just can't be bothered to unite over one single issue about Nick Tanconi going to Calais and just trying to do something instead of just sitting about and talking about it. All I see on the internet is people just sitting about and talking about the state of the country without actually doing something about it. And what we had a guy here going across and trying to actually do something, you know, raise awareness of it, just there and stand toe to toe with NGOs and expose them. But all people could do was just tear it down. Oh no, it's Dick Tanconi, it's UKIP. Fucking does my head in. It really does. Absolutely pisses me off. It's like, for fuck's sake, wake up to yourselves. Wake up to yourselves. You know, you're all pissing and moaning about the state of the country, but when somebody comes out and says, look, we need to unite and fight this common enemy, because if we don't, the country's going to be in real trouble. Our kids are going to have no future. The country's going to go down the toilet and we're going to be completely and utterly screwed. And then I get responses like, I can't unite with everybody on the right because some of them are Millwall supporters. What a load of bollocks. So you're telling me you're going to put your football rivalry ahead of your kid's future because your football team's more important than making sure your fucking daughters don't get raped on the streets of this country? My fucking blood was fucking boiling. It was absolutely fucking boiling with that shit. I get the football rivalry. I get all that shit, but there's more important things going on in this country than fucking football teams. It just annoys me. It's fucking annoying. So look at some comments, because I always like your videos. I actually miss the channel you had back in the day when you took Kevin Potato to task. Yeah, you remember the good old days. Yeah. God, what was his name now? Can't remember his name. But yeah. Yes, we're a laughing stock, especially when the civil war kicks off here, which is coming soon. Exactly. What are you going to do then? What are you going to do if you find out that the person down the street supports Millwall? Aren't you going to go to his aid if he's having his head kicked in? It's fucking stupid. This tribal crap gives me a massive headache, and I've said so many times in the last video. We can win if we stop acting like children and come together. Exactly. But some people don't want to come together. They don't want to come together. And sometimes it just feels like everything I'm doing is falling on deaf ears. It really does. And it just makes me think, you know, I'm putting all this time and effort in to do these videos and stuff like that. I think, is it just really just falling on deaf ears? And sometimes I just think, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to delete the channel and just go my merry way. Because I could be doing way more important things than doing this shit. It just pisses me off. It just boils my piss. It really does. You know that. You know, when I was out in Iraq, right? I can't explain to people what it's like. You know, you've got a kind of the brotherhood, And it doesn't matter what football team you fucking support. The bloke next to you, you would die for him. And that needs to be translated back to this country. It really does. The sense of community has just fucking gone out the window. And there's all this fucking tribalism. And it's the government that's done it. They've done it on purpose. It's just to get people to... It's like the identity politics. The identity politics is designed to pit people against each other in society. So they're too busy fighting amongst each other to tackle the real issues, to go and tackle the government and the people that are really causing all the issues. And it's the same with football. All this stupid fucking rivalry where people get violent over a football match. It's the same fucking thing. And they just can't see it. You know, what really you want to do, right? What you've got to sit down to yourself and give yourself a head wobble. I'm angry. I'm fucking livid. The adrenaline's pumping because I'm so fucking angry about this. It really did get to me today, this one. It's like, what are your priorities? You've got to ask yourself, what are your priorities? You come online, you moan about the state of the country, and you're worried about illegal immigration, you're worried about all the illegal immigrants in the country. But at the end of the day, you decide that's not important, that's not a priority. I'm going to put that on the back burner, and instead I'm going to bring forward and put my football rivalry as the priority. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you absolutely fucking kidding me? Some people are just beyond help. They're beyond hope. All I can say is, right, all these people that come bitch and moan about the state of the country, but they're not prepared to unite over this issue and stand toe-to-toe with their fellow human being who want the same things. We want our country back, but they won't stand toe-to-toe with them because they support a different fucking football team. Pisses me off. It's like, is your head fucking right? Because to me, it's mental. It's completely alien to me how people can think like that. It really is. It just fucking boils my piss. Really does. It's like, Jesus Christ. You know, we've got exactly right, and this is right. You know, we've got. You know, you don't see the Islamists doing this, do you? They're united, absolutely, totally united. They're focused. They're laser focused on the goal that they want to achieve. So are the far left, and these two groups of people are allies, and yet the right can't seem to get its act together because, you know, my two videos yesterday, the comments I was getting is like, it wasn't even party political. And that was really annoying me as well. I have to keep repeating myself. It's not about party politics. It's about patriots coming together and fighting as one against the common enemy. I've got no faith in party politics. I'll be honest with you. You know, I've got absolutely no faith in our system. I don't think we're going to vote our way out of this at all. I think we're going to have a civil war within the next 4 years. It's going to kick off. And all those people that think, oh, everything's going to be all right, I'll be able to go and see me football match on a Saturday or a Sunday, you're in for a rude awakening. You're in for a real rude awakening. So have a look at some more comments. Football fans would sell their own grandmother into slavery just to win some tin pot trophy. Yeah, exactly. I'm not knocking the game of football. I'm knocking this tribalistic. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with going out and enjoying a game of football. There's nothing wrong with that at all. It's this fucking tribalistic, seething hatred of each other that I just don't get. And it's what is it over? It's simply over a fucking game. And it's manufactured. It's manufactured hate. It really is. It's manufactured hate. It's like social engineering. It's designed to divide society up, certain groups in society, mainly the demographic they want to alienate from one another is young males. It's young males. It's young men. It's men. We've got to alienate them all from each other. We'll keep them separated because if they ever unite, if they ever come together in one solid united force, we're in trouble. That's what it's all about. It's about dividing society up all the time, keeping people separated from one another so they can maintain the control. That's what it's all about. And people just can't see that. They can't see past their own noses. They can't see the bigger picture. They really can't. Exactly. They don't want us to stand together. That's what they fear the most, Gobster, isn't it? They fear that. You know, a divided society is very easy to rule. Very easy to rule indeed. Got some comments. These football fans will one day wake up and realise the Muslims have taken over and there will be no more games. They'll just be living in an Islamic regime. Exactly. Games aren't allowed, music's not allowed, alcohol's not allowed. None of this is allowed under, you know, the Islamic. Just go and have a look at Iran. Have a look at Iran, what that was like under the Islamic regime. That was a secular country that was turned Islamic, you know, had the boot of totalitarianism over it. They just won't understand. It'll be too late for some of them. Really will. It just makes me angry. Look indoors. It's like sometimes I just feel like hitting my head against a brick wall because some people just don't get it. They really don't get it. Right. I'm going to say something else as well. Right. I can't get behind the Homeland Party because of its ties to a certain Austrian painter, shall we say. I can't get behind that. That's just not me. I can't get behind that one little bit. I can't get behind Britain First for similar reasons because it has ties. It let's just say it's I don't know what to say. That there's certain smaller right wing parties that have ties that not directly, but they used to have ties to certain groups of people. That it's pretty much why I can't get involved with groups like Patriotic Alternative or anything like that. I just can't do it. I can't because of certain things they supported in the past. It's just not me. Not at all. I don't agree with it, and you know, it's not what I want. It's not British nationalism. It's German nationalism, and they just can't see that. So look at some of the comments. In short, there's nothing wrong with being passionate about sport, but the passion and fight, but quadruple when it comes to family, country, and British culture. That's much more important. Exactly. There comes a time when you have to sideline all those petty differences and come together to fight the common enemy. But people just can't seem to do that. And whilst ever we're divided, we're not going to win anything. And they're winning. The Marxists are winning. 100% winning at the minute. We haven't won a single battle yet. We've got a useless party in Parliament, the Reform Party. They're absolutely shite. You know, we may as well have another Liberal Democrat Party in Parliament with those guys. That they're useless. That they turned out to be a massive disappointment. They're not giving a voice to anybody. People like me aren't represented by the Reform Party. Not at all, not by a long shot. So we've got one MP in Parliament, Rupert Lowe, that basically represents probably 99% of the country at the minute. The rest of them have all sold out. They've all got, you know, ulterior motives and just don't really give a shit about us at all. So I've got no faith in the political system whatsoever. Rupert Lowe's a good guy. He's trying to do a good thing, but at the end of the day, he's one man. He's one man in Parliament, and you know, we need to do something. I don't know anymore, guys. I really don't. You know, I saw those comments today, and he just like, you know, it's like, what do we do? Where do we go from here? Frustrating thing is, even in the parties like Homeland or the BNP, they're generally good people, but the party itself is just too toxic. Exactly. It's the brand name. It's the brand name and the ties that they've had previously it's just not going to make them electable. And to some extent, I would say the same thing about UKIP as well. Unfortunately, I think when Nick Tenconi took over, he should have completely rebranded the party. Probably getting rid of the name, getting rid of the name UKIP, and because at the minute, all people can think about when they see UKIP is, oh, that's that failed party that Nigel Farage jumped out of. And it's still got his fingerprints all over it. It's got that stupid fucking pound flag and the purple. That it just needs to go. All that shit needs to go. It really does. And they need to rebrand and just do something. But yeah. Reform are being sold as replacements. The mainstream media are telling you they are the next government, so people suddenly trust the mainstream media. Wake up. Exactly. UKIP are changing logo very soon, but they are the name. Exactly. I mean, they need. I mean, hopefully, changing the logo. It's a good start. Just rebrand yourself. Just get rid of all that purple shite that Nigel Farage brought in. Rebrand yourself. I think they probably can't change the name because the name is household, but it will always be associated with Nigel Farage. Unfortunately, I was hoping, and this is not Nick Tenconi's fault at all. I fully blame what's his name now, Ben Habib for this, because apparently Nick Tenconi reached out to him to form an alliance and he just got no response. Now, to me, I hope he doesn't. I really hope he doesn't. I hope Rupert Lowe and Ben Habib don't make the same mistake that Nigel Farage did by not embracing the grassroots street protesters and acknowledging them, because that's their stage. That's how they can talk to the multitude. Yeah, fair enough, you're on social media, you're on that thing. But the people need to see you on the street level with them. This is how it needs to be done. They need to completely throw the book out of old politics, the way it used to be done, and they need to do it different. If they're going to be a different party, they need to do it differently. This is where Reform went wrong. Reform completely alienated its grassroots supporters by calling them that lot. They didn't want to be associated with us. And that's detrimental to them. They're going to feel that hurt at the next general election because all those people they called that lot will not be voting for them this time. Definitely not. That's what's going to happen. I'm telling you now. They're not going to get as many votes as they did last time. I really hope Ben Habib doesn't go down that route. I really hope he doesn't. I've kind of seen rumblings in some of the things he's been saying. He said a few months ago that if you join his party, then you can't be a member of any other party. So that's kind of ruling out alliances and stuff like that. It's like, God. And he was a little bit standoffish about Tommy Robinson as well. When he was actually talking about him, he was like, he was asked a question. I mean, he did it in the diplomatic way, but he said, well, he's a registered voter. If he's a registered voter, of course he can join the Integrity Party. They should be embracing Tommy Robinson. They should be embracing him and setting the tone. And we got a phone call. Try and mute this. So about that, guys. Just got a phone call from the old letting agents that had our house that we were evicted to. So they got a bit of a mouthful. But yeah, there you go. Right, where are we? Where are we with the comments? I want to try and get people. I want to try and get a few more other people in here. What's this? It's go slow today because apparently the internet's on really go slow, so all the comments are taking ages to come through. I'm disappointed Ben Habib and Nick Tenconi didn't combine forces. Well, apparently Nick Tenconi offered but never got any response from Ben Habib. So let's see this one. They are still scared of being labelled racist, Finn. That's why they don't go supporting Tommy Robinson. Well, if they want to be a force for change, we don't want cowards. We don't want another cowardly party in power. And unfortunately, if they want people to get behind them, they're going to have to start to get behind people to show us that they're true leadership. And I know people have a go at me, but look at Nick Tenconi. Immediately said, "Yeah, Tommy Robinson, welcome in the party." What's so hard about that? That's a man who isn't afraid to go toe to toe with the mainstream media, and he's good when he does it as well. He's really good when he does it, and he's good at the back and forth with people in the crowd as well. And that is good training for when you go and do interviews, because if you can stand toe to toe with a crowd of screaming lefties and refute what they're saying and give them facts and evidence back, you'll have no issue going into a TV studio and going one-to-one with a news reporter. We need more unite at the Kingdom rallies at towns and cities across the country, not just London, regardless of if they're prepared and approved of, or not that they shouldn't matter, even if they do become. No, they shouldn't become riots. We've been through this before, Jack. They need to be well organised. I do get the point when they say we can't organise all over the country because we have to ensure if they put their name to it, they want all the rallies to be, properly organised. But that's something they should be working on because that's what people want. UKIP are not afraid of labels, and nor should anyone be unless it sticks. But that's that one person, yeah. I'm trying to get comments up, but it takes ages. UKIP needs to change that name before they're serious. Yeah, they do. It was Nigel Farage's name. I get why they're doing it because obviously it's a brand name. It's people know what you mean, but they just get no coverage. They need to. They could take the opportunity, this complete rebranding of UKIP, and make it a massive media event on social media and everything like that, revealing the new name of UKIP and stuff like that, the new banner and stuff like that. You've got to go big. Got to go big or go home, and it needs to be done. When you break the spirit of a nation, you break all resistance. If apathy takes over a country, it can be conquered without an outright warfare. I blame the mainstream media and political elite for spreading anti. Here we go. Anti-British sentiment. People must not give up to apathy. Exactly. The first thing they did was obviously we don't celebrate our patron saint St. George. It's not celebrated. It's not like it needs to be an event like it is in Ireland, like St. Patrick's Day. It needs to be something like that in England. And it's all because of our schools, our colleges, our universities that have taught this Marxist dogma, and that they've made generations of kids hate their own country. They've been taught to hate the country, hate themselves, be ashamed of themselves, hate the culture, and be ashamed of it. And that's what they've done. It's part of the demoralization process. This is how communists take over a country. They demoralize the population. Here we go. Cabinet agent made a very thought-provoking video about Rupert Lowe joining the Tories. Have you seen it? No. I'll tell you something now, right? If Rupert Lowe joins the Tories, he's going to go nowhere, because it'll be like a drop in the ocean. He'll just be absorbed by it. They'll shut him down because he won't be independent anymore. He'll have to toe the party line because he'll be under the control of the party whip, and he won't be able to do the things that he can do now. I think joining the Tories could also be containment. They could say, join us, and then like they'll contain him. Obviously, you can always leave, but it's just a containment thing. It's just like, we'll shut him down for a bit, we'll contain him for a bit. That's all it is. It's just containment. And the Tories are done. Let's just accept here and now the Tory party is done. The Labour Party is done at the next general election. And I don't want it to be the Reform Party that gets into power. I really don't. It's going to be some kind of weird combination of, if they can't get a full majority, the Labour Party, it's going to be some kind of weird coalition between the Greens, Liberal Democrats, and the Labour Party. And that's going to be a complete disaster for the country. It really is. Thanks, Isabella. What happened to Sarah Blade and Liz Truss proved to me the Tories are no hope, no matter who they put in charge. Exactly. And the issue is, right, it doesn't matter who you get into number 10. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you vote for. Because at the end of the day, they've got to be able to dismantle the civil service. That's the first thing any government, if they want to make real change, the first thing they're going to have to do is go in there and dismantle the civil service and get it under control. Because if they can't do that, there's no point. There's simply no point voting. Because whoever you vote for, they'll sit in number 10 and then they'll be told what to do by the civil service, because they've got way too much power. And this is what put me off the Reform Party, because they're not strong enough. They're not going to go into 10 Downing Street, say they get into power 2029. I can't see any one of them being strong enough to go up against the civil service. If they're going to bend the knee at Hope Not Hate, when they just bring out some tweets from about 20 years ago about some of their candidates, and then they get rid of those candidates instead of standing by them, they've got no hope against the civil service, which is probably 1,000 times more powerful than what Hope Not Hate is. You're looking at Nigel Farage, who does U-turns because he's scared of media coverage, getting bad press. They're just not the party to go into government and give us the change that we need. They're not. Bikers are uniting. We are the shield. The shield's the website. Yeah. So I'm having trouble reading it. It's like really blurry. It's really small on the screen. Need to stop voting on folk we don't want. Does anyone know their MP who they can trust? I mean, my local MP is Toby Perkins, so I've got no hope. Every time Richard Inman and what's his face? Oh, God, what's his name now? I haven't watched him in ages. I forgot his name. His mate that used to go, Paul Thorpe. When they used to say, contact your local MP, get them involved. It's like, it's Toby Perkins. He's an absolute arsehole, and he won't do a thing. So look at this. So AA made an argument about Lowe being the leader. I'm not saying I agree, but the video somewhat makes a good argument. Watch it. I might do. I will watch it, but they will do everything they can to stop Rupert Lowe being leader. There's not a chance in hell that he will be leader of the Tories. And why would you want to be? They're doomed. The Tories are doomed. They're bleeding more membership than the Reform Party is at the minute. Have you seen the Reform Party ticker? They've lost 3,000 subscribers in 3 days. And apparently it's because people aren't renewing their subscriptions. So the people from last year didn't renew their subscriptions. So by next year, it's going to drop again. It's going to keep dropping because apparently it's not updated. It's annually. So it's going to drop even further this time next year. The thing is, right, well, have a look at this. In Liz Truss' book, she says she wanted the party to dismantle civil service. And she says it feels like it was actually the Brexit madness that derailed them from the priority goal. No, I think what happened was they saw that she was going to be a threat and want to dismantle the civil service. And so they all got together and orchestrated her demise, which is exactly what they did. It's so sad under the right-wing leadership reform could. If it had been Ben Habib and Rupert Lowe at the top, imagine what that would have been like, the Reform Party. Imagine what it would have been like in Parliament, having those two. They would have been holding Starmer to account, making him squirm in his seat. Have you seen Nigel Farage, Richard Tice, or any of the MPs from Reform actually make Keir Starmer squirm in his chair? They can't, because they've got so much internal strife within their own party. Every time they get up to have a go at Keir Starmer, he throws it back at them. He laughs at them because he knows the party's in turmoil. But they can't get any traction in Parliament because they're not taken seriously. They've got no policy. They've got no substance to them. They take anybody that defects from any party, regardless of who they are. They're just a joke. Maybe those that subscribe their 25 quid to join Reform are maybe waking up to the fact that they can't really influence what happens in Reform, even though they thought they were members. Exactly. You know, I didn't watch. I read a long tweet from Nick Buckley on X, and he more or less said he didn't mind the fact that the party wasn't democratic. And I disagree with him on that, because I think it should be democratic. Because if the subscribers had become members and had the opportunity to put a vote of no confidence in against Nigel Farage and removed him as leader, I think the party would have been a lot better off. But that's deliberate. This is why Nigel Farage doesn't want to democratise the party. He doesn't want people being able to call a vote of no confidence in him and remove him as leader. That's deliberate. And I think Nick Buckley kind of doesn't understand that this whole process was deliberate. Absolutely 100% deliberate why they're not democratising the party. I mean, look at what they did. They changed the company name, was it to Reform Party 2025? They moved all their shares to this other company. And then it was just him and Zai Yusuf that had 50-50 ownership of the company. Richard Tice was pushed out. And then they were supposed to dissolve those shares, and then the party would have been, given to the subscribers, which then would have been members. But it didn't happen. It's still not happened. And I still get reformists coming to me and saying, have you read the Constitution? We do have a way to remove the leader. Yeah, but you've not looked at it. You've not looked at the actual way that you can do it. So at the minute, I've said this before, but I'll say it again. The subscribers can ask the board to consider asking the chairman, for him to consider to ask the leader to step down. There is no direct way that any Reform subscriber can remove the leadership. They can only request. They can't democratically remove them. So any point in that chain of that process, the people can turn around and say, no, I'm not doing it. So they could petition the board to the subscribers could petition the board, but the board could turn around to them and say, no, we're not doing it. We're not going to ask the chairman to ask the leader to step down. And then they could get all the way through the process. The board could say, yeah, but we're going to ask the chairman to ask the leader to step down. And then the chairman turns around and says, no, I'm not going to ask him. Process ended. And I think they have to get 50% of subscribers as well to petition the board before it's even put into process. I mean, what's that even about? You should be able to, as a member of a party, you should be able to get together and say, right, we're calling a vote of no confidence in the leadership. And then it should go to a vote, and then you should put the vote of no confidence in. And then if they win or they lose, there's a leadership contest. But that just doesn't happen. It's just crazy how the Reform Party is set up. See what Isabella's got to say. Remember Farage saying that Starmer is a decent human being? Yeah, I remember that. I also remember recently Farage saying that, you know, in order to be Welsh, all you have to do is live in the country for, you know, 5 or 10 years, and then you're a Welshman. And as people have been pointing out, if you're a Welsh child and you're born in Wales, then you're not Welsh until you're 5. If that's his definition of a Welsh person, and if that's his definition of what a Welsh person is, it must be his definition for what a Englishman is, what a Scottishman is, what an Irishman is. You only have to live in the country for 5 to 10 years, and you know you're that nationality. It's like what people have been saying. Farage and the Reform Party, it's all about values. They think, oh well, as long as you share our values, then you're the nationality of the country. It's not about values. It's about having a tie to the land. We have a heritage. You know, living here for 5 or 10 years doesn't make you an English person. It's your heritage that makes you an English person. It's the fact that you can trace back your lineage on the land where you're from back thousands of years. That's what makes you an English person. You've had countless generations living here. You know, you can't just suddenly turn up and call yourself an Englishman. It doesn't work that way. Just as I can't go to Pakistan and say, yeah, been living here 5 to 10 years, I'm Pakistani now. It's bullshit. Reform, it's the typical mindset. Folks just becoming somewhat politically aware. That's why they stand a good chance at claiming a large number of seats. It's just sheer desperation. People will vote for them out of sheer desperation because they've spread this lie that there's no alternatives, but there are. I mean, we've not talked about the Constitution Party. You know, I think it's just one man at the minute, right? And I'm not making this all about UKIP. I'm going to say this about every single right-wing party that's out there. And everybody's got this argument, oh, they won't do anything. They won't do anything because they've got no vote share. Well, they've got no vote share because you choose not to get behind them. If you want your party to succeed, if you want a right-wing party to succeed, then get behind it. Look at the Reform Party. That was polling abysmally when it was first set up, the Brexit Party, then it became the Reform Party. They were on about what was it, 2 to 3%? And it's only when people got desperate and got behind them did they rise up in the polls to polling where they are now. So it can be done. And we've got 4 years. So any one of these little right-wing parties can spring up and get the same support that the Reform Party has got now. It just takes the people to get behind them. That's all it takes. But people just can't see that. They don't realise it's them that have the power. They have the power to make or break a party. They really do. So basically, both Starmer is so robotic, it's actually chilling to have someone like him in power, in my opinion. He's a narcissist, and I think he's a borderline sociopath as well, to be honest with you. From what I can see of the guy, he's just dead behind the eyes, completely dead behind the eyes. It's like a shark. It's like looking into the eyes of a shark. There's nothing there. It's just soulless. The reason he's robotic is because he's got no emotions. He's got no empathy for anything. He doesn't understand empathy. He can't, that's probably why he was so good at being chief prosecutor for the CPS and defending people that should never have been defended, like paedophiles and terrorists. You can only do that sort of work if you've got no empathy, because people who've got empathy would never defend people like that whatsoever. Exactly. ADF is the prime example of nowhere to 30% in 5 years, exactly. Hey MF, how are you doing? All these parties support Israel. I'm not getting into that. Right, I'm just going to set the record straight, right? Because people have said, I've had people asking, saying, why haven't you made videos about the Palestine, Israel, Iran thing? Because I don't care. It's the same reason I don't make videos about Ukraine and the Russian war. I just don't care. I really don't care. I'm more concerned with getting back my own country. I don't give a shit about any conspiracy theories about the wider picture or anything like that. I'm just focused on getting my country back. That's all I'm bothered about. It's all I'm focused on. That's all I care about. If that's what you want to believe, you believe that. I've got nothing against it. That's your right to do that. But I don't cover those subjects for a reason, because they're irrelevant to me. They really are. The only time I will cover anything that is foreign or anything like that is if it's something that directly affects us, like when Starmer was saber rattling against Russia. That directly affects us because that puts a massive target over our country, because Starmer is too stupid to realise what he's doing. Yeah, like I said, I don't care. I'm not here to tell you what party to vote for. I said that in the video today. If you want to vote for the Homeland Party, do that. Or I don't know if you're just saying Homeland first, but that's what I'm about. I didn't know if that's what you're on about, if you're talking about the Homeland Party. But yeah, Homeland first, definitely, in everything. Homeland first. Yeah, I don't give a shit about anything that's going on in any other country. I don't give a shit. I feel sorry for them, what's going on in America, the riots and stuff like that. I've not really covered that, really. I just don't care. I don't care. We've got way too much going on in our own country to worry about anybody else at the minute. We really have. And apparently Starmer has surrendered something else as well. Apparently he's allowing Pakistan Airways to resume travel to our airports. Apparently they were stopped flying to the UK because of safety concerns, because they don't do the maintenance on their airplanes, as we've seen recently when one fell out of the sky. Safety concerns why we don't allow them to come to this country, because we don't particularly want airplanes dropping out of the sky and landing in our neighbourhoods and stuff like that. But Starmer's weak. Instead of just turning around to them and saying, and Ben Habib is right on this, and so is Rupert Lowe when they said this. They said that they, you know, if they won't accept they're criminals back in their own country, then just cut aid, just cut foreign aid, and say, yeah, we're cutting foreign aid. You're in no position to come at the bargaining table, not at all. But he's weak. He's capitulated again. He's given to them, and now we've got Pakistani Airways coming in again to fly into our country. Was that Indian Airways? Sorry, Steve. Yeah, Indian Airways then. Let's face it, they probably get the planes from the same place, though. They're probably from the same place, Steve. When I imagine Pakistani Airways, I imagine chuffing, those old films of people with early flying machines. I imagine them just coming into land and smash into a building. So look at some of these comments again. I have to wait for it to refresh from to get the comments. I would advise you, if you can, to take that. The heat. Lots of lefties will try to wind you up and then leave you, and then leave. Not that I want that. If you're doing more than the average Joe, keep up your head up, mate. Yeah, I'm trying to. It's hard sometimes though, because some people are just so tribalistic. We've got to get out of that attitude. Really have. This fighting amongst ourselves, it's not going to solve anything. And, we're just going to be divided and we're going to be easily conquered, unfortunately. Right, coming up to the hour mark, guys. I only want to do a short stream, really. So thanks for coming on. I just wanted to vent and get some stuff off my chest because it was really getting on my nerves, and I just didn't want to make another video because it seems people are just not understanding what I'm saying. I take it people just watching the beginning of the stream. Yeah, basically, I was thinking that last night when I was getting the comments. It was like I made two videos, and then the one was like it was just generally just asking for help for Nick Tenconi. It was like, yeah, just go out if you can, give him some help, just spread the link about. And then I was getting like, well, UKIP's not going to do anything. UKIP, and it's like, oh, fucking hell. It's like I'm not making it party political. I'm just saying, go and help the guy, give him some help because he's trying to highlight this issue that's affecting everybody in the country. And then you're getting these people being tribalistic because they're all supporting different political parties on the right, and they're saying, "Oh, they'll never do anything." Then it's like, shut up. That's why I made the second video saying, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. So I'm just trying to look at all these comments because I think I'm missing loads. I got told about this last time. Comments keep disappearing for some reason. I don't know why. Here we go. Oh, there we go. I keep missing all these comments. Thanks, Lady Jane. Hi, Patriots. 30 minutes behind this live. Then remember, many commenters on your channel will be undercover communists who are seeding division and attempting to bring your channel down. We support you. Thanks, mate. Now that I appreciate it. It just gets frustrating sometimes because you're trying to do something positive and then it's just negativity. It's like I get people's frustration. Yeah, I think most people are actually politically homeless. Not interested, Paul Thorpe. He might as well be Nigel Farage. You know what? I haven't watched him in ages. I used to watch him a fair bit just to get an alternative view on things. Obviously, I don't want to be in like an echo chamber. I want to get a different opinion. But it was his whole flip flopping about Nigel Farage that was just doing my head in. That's why I made those videos that time. He just 1 minute he was supporting Nigel Farage, they were saying we have to get behind him. I mean, he did one recently. I think it was a few weeks ago, saying, "Oh, the Reform Party are the true opposition. You're going to have to deal with it." And it's like, for fuck's sake, it was way too soft, in my opinion. I like Richard Inman, but I might offend a few people here. I'm a Christian myself, but he comes on way too strong with the Christianity. He does, and it puts people off. I've lost all interest in Paul Thorpe. Too disappointing. Vin giving a lot of people hope and spreading a positive spirit of resistance. Exactly. A lot of people, Isabella, think that they're powerless. They're not. And I'm not trying to big myself up when I do this. That's why I went to that protest just on my own, just to prove that one person can make a difference in distance. One person can make a difference. You can actually just go out there and stand toe to toe with these people and show them that, yeah, I'm only one person, but I'm standing against you. You may be in a crowd, but I'm on the right side of history. And I've said this before, it's better to be on your own and on the right side of history than be in a crowd and be in the wrong side of history. There was an image from I think it was it 1930s, where you've got all those people, they're all doing the Nazi salute to Adolf Hitler, and you've got that one guy in the crowd that isn't putting his arm up. You should be that person in every crowd. You should be that person. You should challenge everything and not just follow the crowd. That's what we need to be. Richard Courtland, I approached that book, but I've got a lot of time for anyone who went through OP. You know what, right? I'll say this. Ever since he's not doing as many podcasts with Paul Thorpe, he's getting better. He's actually getting out and doing some protesting. I think that's what he wanted to do. It's just he needs to tone down the Christianity a little bit, because he does come on a little bit strong sometimes with it. And it's like, yeah, we get it, mate. You're a Christian. Awesome. Great. Thanks, Lady Jane. I appreciate that. So look at some of these comments. That's it. Right. So we're at the hour mark. Right, I think I've said all I'm going to say, guys. Hang on. I'll be honest with you, right? Last one from Jack. Right, I still watch Danny and Paul Thorpe. I don't watch them because it's of no interest to me. I don't care about vlogs out in Spain. They're like 10 a penny. You know, there's loads of channels I could watch that are well expats doing videos about Spain and stuff like that. Like I said, it's of no interest to me because my main focus is getting back the country. I don't care what Paul Thorpe is doing on his bike out in Spain and shit like that. Don't care. Don't interest me. His opinions on this country don't interest me anymore because he's not here anymore. You know, I would have had a lot of sympathy for the guy if he'd have said way back when, he said, look, if things get tough, I'm going to take my family out of the country. I'm going to take them out. If things get really bad and I get scared for my family, I'm taking them abroad. I would have been totally on board with that and I would have like been 100% behind him. But he made a video saying, I'm never leaving. I'm standing with the patriots of this country. I'm going to stand here and fight with my countrymen. And then a few months later, he got stopped at passport control a couple of times, and that was it. That was him done. He's off. He's gone. That's what pissed me off. That's what got on my nerves. Right, guys, that's it. Yeah, thanks, Lady Jane. Thanks, Isabella. Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Jack. Thanks, everybody, for watching the live stream. Have a good afternoon, what's left of it. Get outside. It's awesome outside. I don't know where you are, but it's absolutely red hot here. It's about 26 degrees outside. So, yeah, go out and enjoy the rest of your day and have a good time. Enjoy it while you can, guys. Yeah. See you later. See you all soon. This is Vindicator. Signing off. When it ends, that is.